Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Review. Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to my April TBR. So I can't believe how time flies. I say that in every video. Everyone ever says that, except about January. In January, we say it takes 100 years, and then the rest of the months just like fly right by, right? Well, we're going to be talking about what I have on my plate for April. And I got to tell you, it is pretty hefty. I tried to kind of narrow things down a little bit. So I actually didn't put every single upcoming release that I saw on my TBR. I tried to stick with just the ones that I have arcs for, though there are still a couple like that I also have the new releases on that I will want to get to. But for the most part, the only books I have on my TBR are new releases. Besides a couple, I just said that, I'm repeating myself. You'll see when we get there. But there are so many new releases coming in April. I believe I have 31 on my post in Instagram, and even that there is a few more since then, right? Which is crazy. I don't know what happened that April's the month, but it is the month. And I mean, May is always really busy too. But yeah, we're gonna go through that. I have some books for book club. I have, of course, what my Patreon ones will be, and then we'll get into the long list of new and upcoming releases, and we'll chat a little bit more about that. One thing I do want to put on the horizon for you guys though, because it's not quite time to do an announcement video, but I still want to put in your mind. As always, we will have the Mafia Romance Readathon coming in the beginning of May. I'm not sure exact dates, but it's within the first 2 weeks of May that I always do it. I will be reaching out to the people who have told me over the last year that they were interested in being a host for it, because I want to try to include some people who've never been involved, some smaller accounts, as well as, of course, we have some of our staple friends who, you know, I hope will always make an appearance for the Mafia Romance Readathon. But we shall see, my friends, we shall see. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. There will be, of course, an announcement for that probably coming mid-month when I have the exact dates. And I'm trying to be really creative with it again. I had a lot of good feedback about last time about having it be kind of like a competition against yourself to see how high you could make it up in the Mafia. Maybe I got to make it a little bit harder this time. I don't know. But we shall see. We shall see how it goes. But I'm definitely been inspired by being a part of Realmathon. Now, Realmathon is still going through the end of March, and I'm so excited. Like, it's been so great. It helped me be so productive this month, and honestly, I'm just so honored that I got to be a part of it. And I can tell you for sure in the future, whether I'm asked to be a co-host again or whether it's just me participating, I will be keeping my eye out for all the readathons that Cass does, because this has been so fun, and I feel like I've made some new friends that I'll continue to chat with in the future. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into it. And we'll start off, as I said, with the Patreon books and the book club books, and we'll go from there. So the theme for Patreon's exclusive read this month was Friends to Lovers, which I know is a bit difficult for people because I feel like, you know, enemies to lovers is the common trope that just gets done, even when it's very rarely what we would call enemies to lovers. It's either like dislike to lovers, or it's friends to rivals to love. Like, it's always those kind of things. Unless, you know, honestly, unless it's a dark romance or a fantasy romance or paranormal, there very rarely is a true enemy. Anyway, side tangent, as I've talked before, but I do have a video where it's like true enemies to lovers, like they're mortal enemies, or like one of them is sent to kill the other. I do have videos on that if you want to check them out. But the theme was Friends to Lovers, and we did have quite a few great recs. And I'm actually really excited about the one that was picked, because I have multiple books in this series from this author on my TBR, and I have not like pushed myself to read one yet. But I even have the audiobook purchased for one of these, and my goal is to actually listen to that one earlier in the month before I'll do my exclusive review of this one, since I already own that. But what was picked was actually The Wingman by Stephanie Archer. And yeah, this one barely edged out another, but there's another book that actually looks really good. And I may keep that one in mind as well. But this is what won. I love this. I actually bought it the next day, since it was like, oh, this is one that's actually in Barnes & Noble. So I picked this up, and just a quick bit on this one. It says that, This one is a steamy hockey romance with an extroverted NHL player with secret feelings, coaches his shy best friend in dating. Okay, so this one is shy, newly single Darcy needs to gain confidence in relationships. So who's going to help her? Hayden Owens, the hottest defenseman in pro hockey, her outgoing best friend, and her new dating coach. Okay, so it's a dating, I'm going to help you dating, and maybe some teach you stuff going on in here. That's the next sentence. Hayden teaches her the art of being a player, but convinces her to practice with him. They've been friends for years, but their flirting lessons and practice kisses push the bounds of friendship. They're roommates, but sleeping in the same bed. He buys her a toy as a favor. Okay, wow. This sounds wild. So I haven't read a Stephanie Archer, but as I said, a few of these have been recommended to me. So the one specifically I'm thinking of is I have the audiobook for The Fake Out because I had multiple of my patrons and friends who said they really love that book. So those of you who are interested in me reading that one, I did buy the audiobook. I actually paid for it because with the, I think there was a deal on it at one point. So I was like, oh, let me grab it. So I will try to read that one before I do this one, since I'll have to read this one physically so I can annotate it. But yeah, if you don't know, I'm sure most of you do at this point because I yak about it, but just for the little bit of self-promo, I do have my Patreon, which is what the lion's share of my funding comes from. And one of the tiers, which is it's one of the lower-ish tiers, you get to vote on the book in the poll. Well, you get to suggest the books first, and then 6 of those books get put into a poll, and then everyone votes on which one they want me to read, annotate it, and then I do an exclusive review, which, by the way, if you join the Patreon, you get access to all of the previous reviews, which at this point I think we're up to like 30 of them. Maybe we got to be close to 30. Well, we got to be like over 36 because I've been doing this for over 3 years now, so it's going to be like 36 in there. Actually, we're coming up on the anniversary. Easter is the anniversary every year of me losing my job and then becoming this. So anywho, you'll get access to all those previous reviews from me. And if you join at the next level above that, you get access to all of my vlogs, which there are 111 of those. So anyway, this book will be reviewed only for my patrons. So if you want thoughts on it, you'll have to check that out. So there we go. Okay, I spent enough time talking about that one because, yeah, I'll know how I go. Now, the other ones I'll be reading for Patreon. Now, these are the people who they pay monthly to get an annotated book from me. This is a very exclusive tier because I only have 9 spots available, which, if you can count, that means there's 10 books every month that I have to annotate. But also, sorry, one other promo. I mean, not sorry, because that's how the business happens, right? I will be opening the pre-order for annotated books this week sometime. If you're seeing this on Tuesday, I believe I'm going to open it on Friday. And if you follow my Patreon, even on the free level, so you just get the public updates, that can be a really good place to get early access to the annotated pre-order list, which those ones are at a bit of a higher price range than obviously my monthly people get, but they do really help me a lot when people are interested in those. So the books this month that I will be like either rereading or transferring my notes for, because some of these I've read many times for Patreon before, there is The Many Sins of Lord Cameron. I'm very excited to reread this one. So books 1 and 2 in the series are the ones I've reread the most, and one of my patrons, she loved the book she's read in this so far, and so she wants me to continue with my annotations for this. So I will be doing The Many Sins of Lord Cameron. This is book 3 in the Mackenzie series, which is after The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie, and then after that is Lady Isabella's Scandalous Marriage, and then this is Cameron. And then I will be rereading Death Adder and annotating it for someone. You and Me. I was so happy someone picked this one. Oh, I love You and Me, you guys. I talked about this a whole bunch in my rec video, and a bunch of you were sharing your love for Tal. I love Tal's stories, and my lips to God's ears. Please, Tal, write us another book, please, please, because I just love his stories. Of course, they'll be in the details and By the Letter. There will also be Wild Card by Maggie Rodden. Very interested in this one. I'm actually reading a Maggie Rodden right now. I'm reading The Arc of Dark Horse, which comes out the end of March. And this is her, I guess, Wild Card is it football? I think I saw the cover, but I can't see it in my mind right now, but I think it might be football. Loving Romeo by Laura Pavlov. And then Kiss the Villain. Someone wants that, which I did just read that one. I have my review up for that right now. I know some people have mixed feelings on it, but my thoughts are pretty good. So those are the ones that I will be rereading or annotating. And very excited about that. So yeah, if you're interested in any of those things on my Patreon, it's always linked down below. Even again, if you just want to follow for free, I will also be giving away 2-month memberships, probably Wednesday or Thursday this week. As a Patreon, now you can like run promos and give out 2-month long like memberships to people. So you can test it out and see if you want to support me. So the best way to snatch one of those is to be following me for free and be following for updates. You'll get it. You can turn on emails when I post there, and you will get the chance to get one of those. So, all right, next up we have some book club books. Now, one of the book clubs is in April, and the other one will be in May, but I'm going to try to work the books in if I can, because I want to be proactive in these. But 2 of these may end up carrying over to May when you see how many new releases I have to get to. These might wait. But the one that will have the highest priority is, after months and months and months, we are finally at Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. And I forgot to write it down, but here's the date of the final live show for the final book currently in the Outlander series. I'll talk on something else in a second about this, but this is book 9. This is the, most recent release. The first release that I got to read at the same time as everyone else when it came out. I have 2 dedicated videos to this book already, but it's time to read it and do our live show. And then we will wrap up the Outlander read-along, which was amazing. It's something people have been asking for years, and there are only a few of us still hanging it on. But if you ever end up reading these books and you want to discuss them, those live shows still exist. I see the comments still that people make, and we can chat about it at any time if you comment on one of those. But yeah, this will be book 9. I believe this is my signed copy. Let me see where it is. Oh, this one isn't my signed copy. Where my signed copy is. I do have a signed copy of this one, but I have multiple copies of this. I had pre-ordered at the time a signed copy of Go Tell the Bees. I think it's on my other shelf, but anyway, very excited. Then there will be the Rake Appreciation Society, our spring session. Again, this one won't be until May. We don't pick the date until May has happened, but we do this quarterly, and it still tends to come up pretty quickly. So for May, the spring session, we will be reading A Pirate of Her Own by Kingsley McGregor. I myself was today years old when I learned that Sherilyn Kenyon is Kingsley McGregor. Did not know that, but the same author of the Dark Hunter series and the I just talked about the League Hunter books, like all of those are by her, and she wrote historical romance. Did not know. So yeah, this is going to be a pirate romance, and it is few know Morgan Drake's true name, but many fear the sea wolf, the scourge of the ocean, a fearless pirate who frees impressed American soldiers from British vessels. Now a beautiful reporter is willing to risk her life, her innocence, and her heart to reveal the secret that Morgan is determined to protect at any cost. So very excited for that one. And then we did have the newest Loretta Chase on our list, but Crystal and I mutually together, we were thinking this, is that we haven't heard the best reviews of that book. And not that that completely scares us away, because I mean, everyone will have their own opinions, and sometimes we think even books that we don't end up liking, we have really great discussions about them, which I just love that we're able to do. But we also wanted to pick one that we think we have a better chance of liking, because it has been a few times in a row that it hasn't been the greatest of books. So instead of doing the most recent Loretta Chase, neither of us have read Mr. Impossible, which I think pretty much all of our friends have read. They've loved. This one is said that it's kind of like The Mummy meets, I mean, I don't know what it's The Mummy meets what, but it has the aspects of that, because there is Rupert Carsington, which I have read another book in the Carsington series, by the way. He's the fourth son of the Earl of Hargate. In his aristocratic family's favorite disaster, or he is. He is irresistibly handsome, shockingly masculine, and retrievably reckless. Wow, so many words. Wherever he goes, trouble follows. Still, Rupert's never met an entanglement, emotional or otherwise, he couldn't escape until now. So now he's in Egypt, and he's stranded in the depths of a prison, and his only way out is to accept a beautiful widow's dangerous proposal. Daphne Pembroke, who is a scholar, wants him to rescue her brother, who's been kidnapped by a rival seeking a fabled treasure. Their partnership is strictly business. She'll provide the brains, he is the brawn. Simple enough, in theory. Blame it on the sun or the blazing desert heat, but as tensions flare and inhibitions melt, the most disciplined of women and the most reckless of men are about to clash in the most impossibly irresistible way. So yeah, I have heard really great things. I know a lot of other historical romance book clubs that have done this. So yeah, both of these books, you still have plenty of time to get to them because, as I said, we won't have book club until May, probably the 3rd week in May. That's about when we do it. So yeah, definitely check those out. Okay, so let's go through these, all right? Some of them I for sure will read, and some of them I'm not sure, and I'll also tell you which ones I'll be listening to the audiobooks for. So here we go. There will be Where Shadows Meet by Patrice Caldwell. I don't know much about this one, but I did sign up for a possible ARC package from the Nerd Fam. So sometimes with the Nerd Fam, I don't get it till the book is already out, so we'll see with that one. Hunger in His Blood by Zoe Draven. I do have my ARC for this one. This one comes out on the 1st, so it comes out next Monday or Tuesday. When's the 1st? I think the 1st is a Tuesday, so this is coming real soon. I'm hoping to have that be the next ARC that I read after Dark Horse. I'm going to jump into Hunger in His Blood, and I can't wait. This is book 3 in the Brides of Calor. It's been quite a while since we had a book in this series, and I can't wait. I love Zoe Draven. Like, I am truly very rarely let down by her stories, and so I'm very excited. Brutal Legacy by Mila Kane. This is the next book after, I believe it was Sinful or Unholy Vows, though this will be a different couple. Brutal Vows is one that I have recommended literally since the day that I read it, for like the kinks that it has, for the like dark parts of it. Like, I just love that story. So I'm very excited for more. Mila Kane can be hit or miss for me. But I will say that her newer releases in Mafia have been the winners. When I went to her backlist to read some, that's when some weren't the best. But like King of the Cage, Unholy Vows, I even liked one of the duets I read, even though it had tropes I didn't totally care for. It still kind of worked. So there's that. All right, then there will be Please Sir by Daisy Jane. This is slotted for the 3rd, and this one is supposed to be, I believe it's a bit of daddy kink in this one, and he's dressed like a cowboy, but I also think he's a coach, possibly, is what this is. But I don't know. I just saw this is going to be her new series. There's going to be 3 books in this. She also has another series announced, but I think we won't talk about that one yet because I don't think that one's coming for a while. But yeah, this will be the first one, and I'm so glad she is doing ARCs again. She didn't do ARCs for the last 2 books she put out because of having some piracy issues, but now she has like ARC teams set up again, which I'm happy about. She's hit or miss for me as well. She always is super kinky, and I know that's what I'm going into. Like, it's erotic romance for her. Like, they're all erotic romance, and I love finding unique kinks that she writes. She's often the star of a lot of my oddly specific like kink or taboo things out there, which I think is interesting. And yeah, but we'll see, because what usually it depends on is like, I am very much okay with dispersing with a lot of disbelief in her books, but I still need something to cling to that like makes logical sense, and that's where it can kind of struggle with her books. But I'm looking forward to trying it. Okay, that one I should be getting an ARC for, I was going to say. So then there is Right the Wrongs by Kimberly Carrillo. Now, this one, I don't 100% know that I'll read, right? But I actually read the Right Wrongs, or Two Wrongs Make a Right. I can't remember. I read this for my Patreon, actually, and it was for, I believe, X's dad. And that was a part of a series, but like the books were standalones. This is advertised that it is a like follow-up to this couple to see how they're doing and how they, like, was he able to repair the relationship with his son, like things like that. And I'm very fascinated what she's gonna do, honestly. So I may try to pick this one up, but we'll see. Like, I'm not like promising anything with it just because I don't know. I gave that book, I think, like a 3.5 star, but I am interested because that one had a crazy relationship. Like, yeah, it was so fascinating. Okay, then I have a physical arc for Wildest Dreams by L.J. Shen. Very, like, intrigued by this one. So this is a series now, the Forbidden Love series. And book 1 was Truly, Madly, Deeply. And it was a toxic relationship, but it still moved me so much. Like, I really enjoyed it. And so I happily signed up for the next one in here. And Bloom kindly sent me an ARC of this one as well. I have an ARC copy of the first one too. And so for special editions wise, they're going to have one, of course, with sprayed edges. And there's also going to be a black and white version of Dream. Like, that's cool. And this is the character art they sent by Meyers is the name of the artist. That's cool. I love that they put the artist right on there. So yeah, this one is slotted for the 8th. And this one, and also the couple it is. Okay, so this one is Dylan, who is the sister of the hero from the first one, who was she was a bitch to her friend in that one, right? Like, Dylan was really hard to like, but she was also pregnant and her partner was a flake. And so in this one, it appears that she's now a single mom. And yeah, it's his best friend's baby sister. Ryland is the name of the hero. And so she's off limits. Unfortunately, now she's going to be living with him and living downstairs. And he has a potential business partner named Bruce, who's an old-fashioned family man. And so he mistakes them for a couple, and there's a kid, right? And so now he has to try to, like, prove that, you know, he's an upstanding guy so he can work with Bruce. And then also Dylan's ex is going to come back in town and try to, like, cause issues. And so he's going to be her, like, fake date for that. So yeah, this is going to be a fake dating, roommates, best friend's little sister, single mom. So lots of positives in this one. Now, she really gut punched me with Truly, Madly, Deeply. It was a very emotional story, more so than like I expected it to be. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how I feel about this one. Okay, then I have already read this book and have a review up, but I just want to share it with you guys quick because I would hate to forget. But on the 8th also, we'll have Firebird. I reviewed this 2 weeks ago, so you can check out my in-detail thoughts about that. And yeah, I gave this 5 stars. And this is another one that people have a few controversial things to say about it, but again, check out my review for why. And I did also want to make a comment on if you watch that, and we talked about trigger warnings, and I just wanted to update you that Juliet is taking it into her own hands. She will be sharing what the trigger warnings are and putting it out there, even if her publisher isn't wanting to ruin their algorithm with trigger warnings. Juliet does take that very seriously, and since they aren't gonna do anything about it, they're remaining like neutral on it. You know, this isn't specific to her, like they don't do them for any of their things. She will be doing them, so I just want to update you on that. She does take it seriously, so we'll see if, you know, if Bramble hears about that from other people. But I'm not gonna badmouth her publisher either, because they're providing us with a lot of good romanticises, but we'll see. Okay, that's all I can say. Okay, then there will be Whispers and Wildfire by Claire Kingsley on the 10th. We have quite a few books on the 10th. This one, I will be getting a ALC and a physical arc of this, I've been told, by her PR lady, or her marketing girl. I am very excited. This will be book 4 in the Haven Brothers. And this one is I don't think he's a fire jumper. Like, fire jumper stuck in my head because of the Gillian series, but I know he's like a firefighter. Yeah, I believe he's like the firefighter one. But yeah, I love this cover and I can't wait to read it. I love her book so much. I'm excited for him. Also on the 10th will be Wicked Love by Willow Astor. This will be book 4 in the Single Dad's Playbook, and this one's gonna be an accidental pregnancy. I mean, the whole series has been, of course, single dads, but this one is going to be a accidental pregnancy. And look at this cover. Isn't it so pretty? I'll be getting a ALC of this one. Also on the 10th, and also I will have an ALC of this, is The Nanny is Off Limits. Actually, scratch, I already have the ALC because Must Love Audio got them pretty early. They pretty much exclusively, well, between them and Valentine PR does the ALCs for QB Tyler. Okay, now on to the 11th. There will be Deacon by Rhea Morris Edwards, and we've been being teased with this one since November. This will be Deacon. This is going to be Daddy Kink, rough and tumble cowboy, and I cannot wait. I can't wait for Deacon's book. I should be getting at least an e-arc of this one. If she puts ALCs up on NetGalley again, I will sign up for it. But I also think the ALCs didn't go up until right before release, and so I got the ALC for Weston, and then I'd already read the book, so I didn't have time to get to it. But I'm probably gonna read Deacon as soon as I get it. I love dark cowboy romance, so I can't wait for it. Okay, we have A Cursed Bite by Daniela A. Mira. This is another one I signed up for with, I think this one was with House of Fables. So if I get an arc of this one, I'll try to squeeze it in. Tell Me It's Wrong by Katie Wismer. So this is a follow-up, well, the second book in her series she started last year. And I enjoyed that one pretty well. It was just okay. It was a brother's best friend. She kind of works to earn some money at his tattoo shop, and it was okay. I liked it, but I was honestly more intrigued by book 2, which will be this one, because this is going to be a reverse age gap, and I believe the way it's set up that this is the stepmom of some of the kids, because she was much younger than she married their dad. She's much younger than them. She's closer almost to their age, but she's still older. I don't think this is a stepmom son relationship. I don't think that's what it's supposed to be, but I think it might be friend stepmom. I honestly don't know. I didn't go too much, except she released the tropes that it was a single mom, said who the character was that it is, and then that it was a older woman. So I'm intrigued. I did sign up for a PR box from her and then e-arc, so whichever one I get, I do want to read that. Okay, the 17th has What Blooms from Death by S.M. Gaither, another romantasy I signed up for. This one is either with NerdFam or House of Fables. There also is Your Secret to Keep by Rachel LeBerg. Now, this one is on the maybe list, though I do have an arc for it, because the first one in this series I read an arc for, and it was just okay. That one was a basketball romance, and because I did that one, I'm now on her arc team, and she just sent this one out. If we had turned in our reviews, she sent this to everybody, so I may try to get to it, but as you can see, we're chock full, so if I don't get to it, I don't get to it. That's just life sometimes. Okay, then we have a bit of a jump. On the 22nd, we have Mr. Charming by Piper Rain. This, I will have an ALC for this one. This will be book 4 as well in the Nest series, and in this one we're finally getting the Playboys romance, and this is a second chance romance, and I just love the series too. The audiobooks are so good. On the 25th, there will be Buckled in Barbed Wire by Harlow Ray. This is a new series she's starting. Now, I haven't done any arcs of Harlow Ray before, but Harlow Ray is one of the authors that I meet at the North Iowa Book Bash, and I have read a few of her books. I have a few of them. They're hidden behind my candles, but some of them were set kind of in Minnesota, and one of them was literally set on the North Shore near Duluth, and these are places I've lived, and I enjoyed those books. So I really want to try this series that she's gonna be starting. That will be cowboy romance, and I believe this one is a billionaire, and he forces her to marry him. It doesn't seem like it's a dark romance based on the cover and the vibes, but I think he's gonna blackmail her into marriage. I think. Could be wrong, but I think those were the tropes on the post that I did. I don't know, but either way, I want to try to get to that one. The 24th is The Prodigal Son by Sarah Kate. I am on Sarah Kate's review team for both her audiobooks and like her ebooks, so I will be getting for sure an ALC of this one. I hope I get a release box for this one because I have loved this series so much, and it's finally time for the MM romance to round it off, and I look forward to it so much. Okay, there will be Just Say Yes by Lena Hendricks on the 25th, and I am on her review team as well, and I will have an ALC of this one, so looking forward to it. His Juliet by Amelia Rossi. I hope I get an arc of this one. I'm a little nervous I don't know, maybe because she's not a huge author, so hopefully I'll get picked. I don't know if that doesn't always mean it. Doesn't mean I'm owed one of her arcs or anything. But she had where if you could only read this one if you'd reviewed the other one or read it. And I read that one not as an arc. So when I read a book not as an arc, I don't usually write a review just because, as you can see, I'm already writing about 30 reviews a month. And I hate it. I would rather talk my review than text it, make it text. So I didn't have a written review for that one. So if she's looking for a written review, then I don't know. But I did link to my review of the book. So hopefully, because I really want to read this. His Tesoro was, it's not my favorite mafia I ever read, but there was just something so special about it. I love the representation. There was so much good in it. And I'm really excited to see what His Juliet has to offer. Okay, Taming the Heart by Elliot Rose. Signed up for an arc of this one. I had an arc of Braving the Storm, which I loved, and Taming the Heart will be coming next. Now, this one does have sort of cheating in it. I did have someone ask me about this, and according to the tropes, right, I haven't read this, but it's a hero who's separated and he's trying to get divorced from his wife. So this one is one where, like, it will technically be, like, cheating, and so if that bugs you, it might not, but it's also, what's the difference when they've been separated for so long and are like trying to divorce? So I don't know. That's up to you and what you're comfortable reading, but I am going to read that one because I love this series. And there was also the news that she got picked up for TradPub, which I think is wild, you guys. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because like Sarah Kate and, Katie Robert are picked up, but it's still wild to me that this like super kinky cowboy romance got picked up, and I just love it. So there will be, I believe the end of May will be the last chance to get the indie editions of the books, so definitely snag those if you want. But there will be, still the indie cover of Taming the Heart, and then when her 4th book in the series is going to come out, she will have a special order where you can get a copy that matches yours. So she has that worked into her deal that she's still allowed to do that, which is what some authors have to do matching ones. All right. Also on the 29th. Oh, we have a lot on the 29th. Like there's like 5 of them. Reckoning by Gillian Eliza West. So this will be the second part of the duet, which was, I forgot the series name, but there was Ruin, and this will be Reckoning. And this is kind of the Hades and Persephone retelling. It was written by a fanfic author. Ruin was her debut, like, published novel. And then, Reckoning will be the roundup to that. So, I'm looking forward to it, of course. King of Envy by Anna Huang, also on the 29th. And I'm very excited to say that I will be getting a physical arc of this. I was sent the NDA to fill out because I'm going to get a physical arc of it. And I was screaming because I was like, oh my God. And I have received arcs of all of the books in this series. I have physical arcs of the last one, but I didn't get one for Stryker, and so I was kind of like, oh well, she's super popular, it's fine. I'm never expecting of it, right? They don't even need to do arcs for this series anymore, right? Like, it's kind of a done deal that they don't need to, So we'll be getting arcs of that midway through April. Okay, then Hardly a Gentleman by Eloisa James. She has a book coming out. I am a bit behind on some of her books, but I have loved Eloisa James as long as I've read almost any historical romance author. And as I've shared multiple times, I want to be building up historical romance authors. So this one will be coming in April if you'd like to pre-order it. As with all of these books, if they have a pre-order, I have it listed down below. You can go pre-order their book. It helps out the author. It also helps out my channel. If you are going to be buying a book based on my recommendation, it definitely helps me out. Then the last one that is a upcoming release that I am hoping to read an arc for, or will read when releases, is Aspen by Fiona Cole. Now, I have not read Fiona Cole has not put out a book in years, okay? That isn't just a re-release or a novella. And so I'm so excited. I know some people already got this because I think she actually had copies of Aspen available at book signings for a while, but it hasn't been released yet. And so I plan to gobble this up as soon as possible. Maybe I did sign up for an ARC. I just hadn't heard from it yet. I can't remember. But whether I get an ARC or a physical copy, I'm going to read this as soon as I can. Okay, now just a couple other things to wrap this up with a few that I will get to. So I do have 2 other ALCs that are not new releases that I'm signed up for, and that is Naughty or Ice by Sylvia Pierce. We were supposed to get this ALC already, but it has been delayed by technical issues. And then I will be rereading Bull Rush because the ALC of that I'm signed up for with this. So happy to do that. Again, I'm reading Dark Horse right now, and it overlaps with this one a little. Not really overlap because they're already, but we're dealing with kind of the remarriage that's going to happen. So very excited for that. Okay, then the last one I want to share that I have on my tentative TBR, because I want to get to it if I can. I was sent this arc by I guess she is a fellow romance tuber, or at least a booktuber. I did not know that when she reached out and asked if I wanted this arc box, or this paperback box, and I just said yes because it's pirates and sirens, and I obviously was in a mood for that. And then when I received it, I looked her up and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a content creator, so definitely check her out. But I was sent this beautiful copy of Wicked Tides. It says it's a dark fantasy romance by Courtney Lee. Maybe it says what her social is right here. Let me see. Oh, she didn't put it right there, but Courtney Lee is her name. She, look at the ombre on here. I believe she did this herself, and it's signed. She said on her note that she did all the artwork herself. So there's matte inside, and then this was the artwork. Let me show you. Oh, look at this bookmark of the hero. And there's this siren skeleton on this bookmark, which is wild. This will also be in the book haul that I have going out this week. So that was really lovely gift to get. But this one, just partially part of the blurb, because this got way too long as always. The waters are filled with terrors and the waves are red with blood. Treason Harbor is a place plagued by terrifyingly beautiful monsters from the deep, and they're hungry. When no man is safe on the water, pirates and fishermen alike, people look to hunters. So there is Vidar Boneheart Wolfson is the captain of the Burning Rose, a ship known for its blood-red sails and the ruthless nature of its crew. He has hunted more sirens than any other ship on the sea, and unlike most, Vidar hardly does it for the money. He is haunted by events from his childhood and lives to see every daughter of the sea is slaughtered. So Dahlia knows the ship with red sails well, but she knows its captain even better. The man who took everything from her as a child still hunts her waters, and she will end him if it's the last thing she does. Scarred and vengeful, Vidar and Dahlia will soon cross paths again after 18 years, and things certainly will not be peaceful. But even greater horrors might force the two together in a reluctant partnership. Their rivalry runs deep, their love will run deeper, but not without bloodshed. What? So, yeah, this is one I would like to get to. In the same way I did with The Secrets of Jane, which I still need to read part 2, okay? It's difficult because I want the audiobook so bad, and that's not coming for a couple months. So I haven't gotten to The Secrets of Jane part 2 yet, but I'm still in a pirate and siren mood. So, all right, y'all, there we go. That is all the books that I have on my eye or on my TBR. woo, we'll see which ones make it and which ones don't. I've been reading about 30 to 40 books a month, and there is literally 40 on my TBR, so we will see what I get through in April. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your support always. You guys are amazing. Again, if you're interested in annotated books, keep your eye out for that. If you'd like to support what I do here, you can simply like this video, send it to someone who you think wants to see it, subscribe to the channel, or if you want to monetarily help out, there's links to my Patreon and what else, my Ko-fi, all down below. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.